Hello everyone, I am Raeifier, and for today's raid out hunt, I wanted to do it a bit differently and also showcase the build I've been using, which honestly has been kind of great. Like with my other build videos, we'll start with a demonstration and then we'll proceed towards the build breakdown and my thoughts on its development. I hope you guys enjoy watching.
Have everything?
The Strife Eater Mark II is, per the name, the second iteration of an armor set which I developed with the theme of absorbing monster aggression and redirecting it towards them. This latest version makes use of the Lalabarina longsword, although it doesn't really have any element-specific skills, so any longsword could work with it. I just think paralysis works pretty well on Raid Out. The Zoshia head and body armors, the Guardian Arkveld arms, Arkveld waist, and the Shevu, I read somewhere that that's how it's pronounced, legs. For my talisman, I use the counterattack charm 2. And then for my mantle, I had a corrupted mantle equipped here as a holdover from a previous build. Although as you've seen, I don't really use it. From now on, I'm going to be testing the evasion mantle, which I think is going to be best in theme for this build. And now for the skills. The primary ones are Maximum Might, Weakness Exploit, Agitator, and Adrenaline Rush. Now, Maximum Might, of course, grants plus 30 affinity, which is a critical chance, while your stamina is full, as well as a couple seconds after your stamina drains. This is one of the best sources of affinity in the game right now, unless you're running something like Dual Blades or the bow, both of which drain quite a lot of stamina. In terms of sheer numbers though, Weakness Exploit is the biggest source of affinity, giving a whopping total 50%. However, it's a lot more conditional in that you need to be targeting a monster's weak points. In Raidow's case, the best ones to aim for are the head and the wings, although the tail can be good too if you're standing behind it, and sometimes the legs also count. I say sometimes because when I'm attacking the legs, sometimes I hit the body instead, which results in white damage, meaning it's not a weak point. Weakness Exploit 5 adds plus 30% affinity for hitting the weak points, and then another plus 20 if those weak points are wounded. For a while, I experimented with having only Weakness Exploit 4 in exchange for Agitator 5, but ultimately, more consistent crits are better than plus 4 attack that Agitator 5 provides. Although, speaking of Agitator, this build still has it at 4, and as I previously mentioned, Strife Eater is all about absorbing a monster's rage and throwing it right back at its face. And that's literally what Agitator is. At level 4, Agitator adds plus 16 attack and plus 10% affinity whenever the large monster you're fighting becomes enraged. So yeah, this is pretty much a core of this build. It's the main theme of the build. And then lastly, Strife Eater also has Adrenaline Rush level 3, which adds plus 20 attack for 30 seconds after executing a perfect evasion. So by perfect evasion, this includes perfectly timed rolls as well as evading attacks using foresight/iframes. And since I'm always doing those during a fight, my Adrenaline Rush is always up. Now for weapon skills, I have Razor Sharp 3 over here, Handicraft 1, Critical Boost 3, and Critical Status 1. I'm using the Lalabarina Longsword, again because I just like to be able to paralyze Raidao because it keeps flying around otherwise. The Lalabarina Longsword also has decent damage, good affinity, and really high paralysis at the cost of slightly inferior decoration slots. I did try to fit Critical Boost 5 into the build, but after several tests, my conclusion was that losing sharpness during a fight was more detrimental to my damage output than missing out on a quote-unquote whopping 6% to critical damage. Have to remember that white sharpness adds plus 15% damage to your attacks, while blue sharpness only adds around 6%. So dropping from white to blue is a 9% general damage loss, which I feel is quite significant compared to the 6% critical damage loss. Now, by no means am I saying that critical boost is a bad skill. If you're able to fit it into your build, I would still say go for the level 5, but if not, then it's not like the complete end of the world. So in this case, I went for Razor Sharp 3 instead, which grants my attacks a 50% chance of not incurring sharpness loss, meaning my weapon stays sharp for a lot more attacks. And now for my secondary armor skills, I have Quick Sheath 3, Divine Blessing 3, Recovery Speed 3, and Zoshia's Pulse. Quick Sheath 3 is pretty much a must-have for longsword builds, as it speeds up not only normal sheathing, but also Special Sheath, which is used for EI Slash and the EI Spirit Slash. It probably counts as a primary skill at this point. Now, Divine Blessing 3 makes this build more comfortable to use. It increases the chances of surviving attacks if you make a mistake. And speaking of comfort, Recovery Speed 3 quadruples the speed at which you heal recoverable or red damage, while Zoshia's Pulse at 2 pieces of Zoshia armor heals for 1 health every 2 seconds. So between Divine Blessing 3, Recovery Speed 3, and Zoshia's Pulse, the first version, I have a bit more confidence taking risks while I'm still learning a monster's moveset and timings, which I feel is one of the true values of this set, of this build. It's a lot more comfortable to use. It's a compromise between dealing damage and survivability, and which I feel is a good place to be when you're still learning how to fight a certain monster. Devour Their Fury was my through line while creating the original Strife Eater build. I envisioned a character who, whether by deflecting or clashing his enemies' attacks head-on, was able to absorb or devour the energy behind their blows and use it to power his own. Incorporating both Agitator and Adrenaline Rush became a priority for the build from the start, and if I had the decoration slots to do it, I might have also included Counter-Strike. I used the original build in the Longsword Disciples series and was going to make a special video featuring it, much like this one. However, I got sick, and then Zoshia was also released into the game. I got preoccupied making a strategy guide for easier Zoshia hunts, but I scrapped it for now as there are so many guides for Zoshia already out, and producing a video of that size and complexity is still a bit too ambitious for my current skills. However, Zoshia's introduction into the game was still beneficial, as its armor pieces with Agitator and its good decoration slots, and the Zoshia's Pulse skill were just the perfect fit into the Strife Eater build. So now, in addition to my character being able to steal his enemy's power, he also regenerates any wounds he sustains while fighting. So I sort of imagine the character as, like I said, whenever he gets attacked, either he absorbs the energy from it by dodging or deflecting or parrying. He still takes damage, which is where the regenerative power of Zoshia's Pulse comes in and helps him out a bit. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the hunt, the build, and the story behind it. Like the video if you did, leave a comment about your own favorite builds, and consider subscribing to support the channel. Thank you, and as always, take care, be safe, make your dreams come true, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.